You know the scene, right? You've heard it 1,000 times. An elder rubs their knee and says, "Storm's comin'. I can feel it in my bones." It's a piece of folklore so common we barely even question it. But maybe we should. In this explainer, we're going to look at the science, the ethics, and the really surprising truth behind this age-old belief. All right, let's dive in. So let's just ask the question straight up. Is there a real predictive power in an aching joint? Can someone's body truly function as some kind of weather oracle? Okay, so scientifically speaking, the short, clean answer is no. Elderly people are not mystically connected to the weather. There's no magical sixth sense going on here. But, and this is a big but, if we just stop there, we miss the entire point. Because the real answer gets into physiology, philosophy, and two very, very different ways of understanding the world. And that's where things get truly fascinating. So first, let's just take a second to acknowledge why this story is so powerful to begin with. It sticks around because it's based on something real, patterns we've all seen or maybe even experienced ourselves. I mean, these things aren't just made up. People genuinely feel their joint pain flare up right before it rains, or get headaches when the barometric pressure shifts. And when someone consistently mentions these feelings right before weather change, it starts to look pretty uncanny, like a real prediction. But what's actually happening is physiological sensitivity, not some mystical connection. Okay, so let's shift gears from the myth to the science. Why do aging bodies seem to become these living, breathing weather sensors? Well, the answers are grounded in biology, not magic. It's all about physiology, not prophecy. So the mechanism here is actually pretty simple. As we get older, the cartilage that cushions our joints can thin out. Now, when a storm approaches, the atmospheric pressure, the weight of the air above us, drops. This change can cause the fluid and gases inside our joints to expand just a little bit, putting pressure on sensitive tissues and nerves. The result? A flare-up of pain that just so happens to come right before the rain. And it's not just about pressure. An aging body's ability to regulate its own temperature, what scientists call thermoregulation, it just becomes less efficient. The sweat response slows down, and circulation doesn't adjust as quickly to heat or cold. This means the weather simply feels more intense. The cold feels colder, the heat is more draining, but that intensity isn't some meaningful message from nature. And it's not just our joints or our internal thermostat. The nervous system itself plays a huge role. You see, aging nerves can transmit signals differently, and old injuries or even scar tissue can stay uniquely sensitive to changes in temperature and pressure. So here's the crucial point. The body becomes a sensor that reacts to its environment, but it's not an oracle that can interpret it with any kind of foresight. Now, understanding the science is one thing, but there's a much deeper, more profound way to look at all this. A philosophy from the Arreqqana people gives us a framework that moves us beyond a simple debunking and gets us to a more respectful and ethical truth. The Arreqqana don't see this sensitivity as some special connection to the weather. They have a word for it: exposure. Think of it like this. A younger body has more buffers, thicker cartilage, more efficient circulation. It's better insulated from reality. An older body is simply less insulated. It feels the shifts of the world sooner and more sharply. This isn't magic. It's a physical condition. It's vulnerability.
And this idea leads to their core ethical warning, which is incredibly powerful. Do not turn vulnerability into mythology. This right here is a crucial pivot in how we should think about this.
So why is that warning so important? Well, because the moment we turn an elder's pain into a romantic myth about being connected to the sky, we stop seeing it for what it actually is: pain. We start to spiritualize their suffering instead of treating it. We admire their prophecy while completely ignoring their discomfort. And this is the real danger. When pain gets mythologized, real medical care gets delayed. This brings us to the real heart of this whole explainer. We absolutely have to make a critical distinction between what an individual's body feels and what a community knows. They are not the same thing. Not at all. Let's break this down. Over on the left, you've got elder sensitivity. This is a physiological response, a sensation stored in the body's tissues. It's an individual condition, and as we've learned, it's a sign of vulnerability. Now, on the right, you have indigenous ecological knowledge. This is something completely different. It's a system of observation built over generations, a kind of pattern literacy that's stored in cultural practices. It is a source of data. It's a system of knowing. An Arreqqana elder put it perfectly. Someone told them, "You always know when the rain is coming.
And they replied, "No, my cartilage is just thinner than it used to be." Wisdom is remembering what to watch. Pain is just pain. That just brilliantly spells out the difference, doesn't it? Wisdom isn't a feeling in your knee. It's knowing to watch the birds, the clouds, and the river. So what we have are two valid, powerful systems for understanding the weather: indigenous ecological knowledge and modern meteorology. They aren't in conflict with each other. They're in a kind of dialogue. Think of them as different tools for reading different layers of reality. Just look at this comparison. Indigenous knowledge operates on a local, regional scale. It uses pattern literacy developed over centuries. Its tools, the senses, memory, and the land itself, which gives it incredible microecological precision. Modern meteorology, on the other hand, operates on a global scale, using mathematical models and complex instruments. It has macro-atmospheric precision. As the Arreqqana say, one listens deeply while the other sees broadly. Imagine this dialogue between an elder and a meteorologist. The elder points out that there's signals, the birds nesting higher, the tide grass stiffening. These things show up weeks before the satellite data does. And why is that? The elder says, because I don't look everywhere. I look here. That's the power of deep, place-based observation. And the meteorologist gets this. They acknowledge that their global models need distance and scale to work properly. To a satellite, the tiny, fine-grained details of a single coastline are just noise. But the elder has a great response for that. Noise is where living systems speak. And this is the beautiful conclusion they reach. Neither system replaces the other one. They correct each other. Indigenous knowledge can give us the early, subtle signals that global models miss, while meteorology can see the massive storm system forming way out over the horizon. So after exploring the science, the ethics, and these different ways of knowing, what's the final takeaway here? Well, it all comes down to understanding the real meaning of respect and care. Let's just summarize this with 4 simple truths. 1. Indigenous knowledge is a system of observation, not a feeling. 2. Meteorology is a system of modeling, not a lived experience. 3. An elder's sensitivity is a biological condition of exposure, it's not prophecy. And 4, and this is so important, respect that doesn't include practical care is just empty, performative reverence. And that leaves us with this final, clear, and really actionable thought. The next time an elder tells you a storm is coming because their joints ache, don't just nod along with their wisdom. Listen to what their body is actually telling you, that they are in pain, that they are exposed to the elements. Honor them for the generational knowledge they carry, but care for them because of the physical reality they feel.